The two groups which remained in Tanzania were the Tutamboni. The Tutamboni. And these Tutamboni actually went as far as eastern shores of Lake Tanganyika, above Rugwa to Katavi region. For those who come from Tanzania, they know where is Katavi, to a place known as Horohoro. And they went up as far as the Runzewe. And the Runzewe is in the western part of Kahama district. And the Kahama district now is part of Shinyanga. And then Ukombozi now, part of Ukombozi. And actually on the way, typical of the Nguni areas, they captured women and the children. They did not kill women and children. They fought the men. Those who died never died. Those who survived were incorporated in their army, but took men and women. And they took a lot of Nyamwata down today as Nyamwezi and the other peoples, and they consecrated them in their community. And then, when they were in Nyerere, they made frequent attacks as far as the southern shores of Lake Victoria in the 1870s and the 1880s. And actually, if you go to Burundi, in one of the provinces in Burundi known as Makamba, the people there will tell you our origin is Zululand. What is in KwaZulu-Natal and the Swaziland. And actually, there was a dominant group in Western Tanganyika and the southern shores of Lake Victoria up to 1890, when they were defeated by the Germans. Up to 1890, and I want to believe. And when they were defeated by the Germans, colonial powers in 1890, most of them now gradually assimilated themselves into Sungwa and the Nyamwezi. So today you have people in Tanzania who are identified as Sungwa in Kahama and the Nyamwezi in Tabora, part of Singida, but who actually originally their DNA and their genes are what? These are Zulus from what is today KwaZulu-Natal in Swaziland. And I don't want to ask Sibakaria, if he's one of those people who carry those genes. I don't want to ask him. But I witness names we know. That we know they are Buddhists. And actually the commando battalion of Chief Mirambo, were mostly Buddhists. And just like the first head of Presidential Security Unit, Mzee Mwalimu, he says he comes from Nyerere. But Mwalimu is Zulu. And Peter Mwalimu is the first chief bodyguard of Mwalimu Nyerere. And actually has written a book. The chief bodyguard of Mwalimu Nyerere. Mlinzi mkuu wa Nyerere, Peter Mwalimu, read it. So I'm complimenting his lecture. And as he says, he knows. And today they are known as Sungwa in Kahama or Nyamwezi in other areas. I'm bringing this, not for anything, is to show how we are one and how this information, how these facts are not told to us, are not discussed among ourselves because they want to show us we are different people. But we are one. By blood, we are one. I don't want to talk about the cause, I'll come to that later on. The second group were the Wangwara Ngoni. This also left to Fipa, and they were led by a person known as Zulugama. and they traveled southwards to a place known as Mlangala in what is today Songea district, Ruvuma region, where they came into contact with the Maseko Ngoni under the leadership of Wamputa. Now, the Wangwana Ngoni later on fought against German colonial rule in the famous Maji War of 1905 and up to 1907. And for our colleagues who are coming from Namibia, this is the same like the Herero Nama Wars. Same like the Herero Nama Wars against German colonial rule. And this Songea was a chief who, when all his sub-chiefs were called by the German colonial power to be hanged, he said, before you hang them, hang me. And he was hanged before his sub-chiefs. So you see, these people who came from KwaZulu-Natal, moved to Fipa, finally went to what is today Ruvuma region, Songea. When it came to fight against colonial German rule, they were in the forefront. These are facts which I just needed to add to the good lucid lecture by Colonel Simukali. And then definitely there were other groups, the Pezeni Ngoni, the Mombera Ngoni, and the Chiwere Ngoni. These went southwards, and some of these, the Pezeni, went to western Zambia, and then they moved to southwards, to southern Zambia, in an area known as Senga, and they founded their own kingdom in what is today Zambia. And then the Mombera Ngoni moved southwards, and they entered Timbuka country in northern Malawi, and they established a kingdom of their own. And quite interesting, the children and grandchildren of the Nzenga Ngoni in Zambia were part of the nationalist movement for the fight of independence of Northern Rhodesia, which after independence in 1964 became Zambia. Actually, a political party which is missing in this family, which really belongs to this family, and which I, perhaps in Sibakaria, we wish it was still there, is UNIP of Zambia. And those who went to Malawi, to the Timbuka, and founded their own Kamanga kingdom, later on joined in the nationalist movement for the fight for independence of Nyasaland, which after independence became Malawi. I don't know whether you're following the thread of what I'm going to say. You can see the linkages, you can see the networks, and you can see these who are portrayed or who were portrayed as barbarians, later on integrated in the society of these countries and became part of the struggle for independence of Tanzania, independence Tanganyika then, independence of Northern Rhodesia, Zambia now, independence of Southern Rhodesia, Zimbabwe now, and the independence of Nyasaland, Malawi now. And the part of the first leadership of Frelimo. When you talk about the Edward Shivambu Mondelane, Samora Machel, and all those who come, the border close to South Africa when you cross the border. And definitely also the Chiwere, the Bromvu, which means the elephants, also went and they established their Ngoni kingdom in the highlands of modern Dua district in Malawi. The impact I've shown you the connection and the linkage between these people and the fight for the nationalist struggle of these countries. Because I don't want to go back to what I has already said, but also to mention that Chief Milambo, who again fought the Germans, he learned his military tactics from Bengoni, who came in. And actually he was captured by Bengoni before he was able to escape. And when he escaped, he was able to recruit the people and train them in the Bengoni military strategy which they used to fight against the Germans. And the other people who also learned military tactics from Bengoni and later used them to fight the German colonial powers are the Hehe and the Kwa. And I want to believe this is a topic which needs to be dealt with Colonel Sabakaria, the Battle of Lugano, where Chief Mkwawa and his soldiers, using the military tactics that they had learned from Bengoni, were able to annihilate the entire German expedition mission to the Hehe, with the exception of one soldier who was able to run away. And this surprised the Europeans. How an African can be able to defeat a highly powered, with good weapons, the German army? And finally, when he killed himself, and they were able to get hold of his body, they cut his head and take his head to Germany to be examined. Was he a really African or someone who went to Africa from somewhere? So I'm letting you, Bemfekane or Mfesane, I don't know how to pronounce it better, but the impact which it had during that time and at the fight for our independence. So you can see, it was not easy for the Europeans to colonize these countries. And among those who militarily resisted, because when we talk about guerrilla warfare, the first guerrilla warfare to be fought in what is today made in Tanzania was by the Hehe under Kwa. Where did he learn about these guerrilla warfare tactics? Not from Europe, but from the military tactics of the Nguni people who had migrated in the 1820s to what is today Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Mozambique. That is one of the things I wanted to mention to you. Colonel Sabakaria has done very well on the scramble for Africa, and I'll touch also a bit of it. You see, the philosophical, the epistemological rationalization of struggle for Africa was one. The Europeans wanted to show that actually they had not conquered a country which had people. This is why I'm very delighted the details which have been given. So one, they had declared Africa to be in Latin, terra nullius, which means a continent with nothing and no people. Because they were Christians, and they did not want to be seen, they are committing a sin or stealing something from other people. So they declared Africa to be terra nullius. Colonel Sabakaria has been able to show you Africa was not terra nullius. It had a lot of facts. The second thing which they did, and which for me was worse, was the alienation of the African people from their own continent, who were made to feel alien to our own continent. Subjugation, education, cultural imperialism. And after that, they were able to expropriate our resources and make them to be their own resources. And they were made strangers to our own resources. The bad thing, and especially in South Africa, Namibia, Mozambique, and Angola, was the criminalization of natives. Immediately natives were considered, were consigned, were made to be criminals. This they talk about crime in South Africa today, I always remind people, go and read the book by Ellen Patton, Climb My Garden Country. Crimes which were created deliberately by the FFA regime to make Africans fight against themselves, to make Africans see another African to be their enemy, and not the Boers as their enemy. So I wanted to share also you with that. But the scramble for Africa and the partition of Africa under the Anglo-German Treaty of 1st July 1890. And when I was a student in the Federal Republic of Germany, where I spent about 9 years studying and working, the Germans would always say, the treaty is of 1890. And I will always remind, to you it is 1890. To us, it is a still troubling treaty. And here I don't want to go to details. You all know the border dispute between Botswana and Namibia. The source is the Anglo-German Treaty of 1st July 1890, and more so with the defeat of the Germans in the First World War before the conclusion of the verification of the borders. And today, Botswana and Namibia have been forced to go to the International Court of Justice, with the International Court of Justice to determine where the border is. Something which for me is not only ironical, but it is diabolical. That two African sovereign countries go to ICJ in The Hague for them to determine where there is the border using the Anglo-German Treaty of 1890, where borders were arbitrarily drawn. Today, we are still fighting for that. That is what Colonel Shibakaria has been telling us of the pitfalls of the independent and nationalist government once we won. Another border dispute is a result of this. It's the one of Tanzania and Malawi on Lake Nyasa, Lake Malawi. Where again, we are still struggling where the border between Tanzania, is it on the shores of the Lake Nyasa, or Lake Nyasa, or Lake Malawi, or whether it is the median line? Lucky enough, Tanzania has not resorted to go to the International Court of Justice. Here, I must say that actually we need to thank our father of the nation, Mwalimu Julius, who refused Tanzania to be a member, to accept the automatic jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice unless Tanzania writes a note. This is why we have no one can drag Tanzania to the International Court of Justice before Tanzania itself accepting. So I wanted us to note those things. As I say, I'm piecing in information and facts in what has been provided by our good lecturer. About former German colonies. This is another fact which is barely discussed, and the Germans do not want it to be discussed. Germans had colonies in Africa, and after the Germans were latecomers in the scramble for colonies, because for many years, as Colonel Shibakaria has shown, not all European countries went through were industrialized by the time when the scramble for Africa. And one such country was Germany. Because before the unification of Germany was small principalities. And when they were united by Bismarck, they found themselves as the French, the British, the Spanish, the Portuguese. They were already taken big chunks of colonies in Africa. And a big expanse was taken as a personal property, not even a colony, as a personal property of King Leopold of Belgium. And this is what is today the Democratic Republic of Congo. Personal property, and not even a colony. So the former German colonies, and I'm bringing this because in these parties among you, There are 2 former German colonies. And this is mainland Tanzania and Namibia.
Historia leo imeandikwa baada ya miaka mingi, mawazo ya baba wa taifa Mwalimu Julius Nyerere.